We've got you covered all season long. Welcome to the BCSN Nation podcast, powered by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Here it is. Welcome to a brand new episode of the BCSN Nation podcast, powered by Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go, sports bar. It's season 3, episode 27. Brandon Carnes here with Justin Feldkamp and Dion Thompson. And gentlemen, spring has sprung. We were in the 60s here in Northwest Ohio. I want to know what you are looking forward to most this spring before we send you off into the wilderness with only one episode left of basketball season. Dion?
So for me, I'm involved in a different community. You guys know the jiu-jitsu community.
Year round.
Yes.
Season don't matter.
No, but spring is big for me because there's a big event and it kind of kicks off the jiu-jitsu tournament season in our area in the Midwest. So I'm looking forward to Theater Jiu-Jitsu, which is April 26th. I always look forward to that, the Maumee, and I look forward to finally being able to wear some T-shirts and not wear turtlenecks, you know. But I like to change the seasons, though. A lot of people say, you know, hey, I have friends that live down south and on the West Coast. They say, why do you stay there? I said, I love the change of seasons. So that's
sure. I get it.
Yeah.
Justin?
Agreed. I liked seeing the kids outside. Driving home on Monday when you mentioned the 60 degrees, the little park in our neighborhood was packed. Kids out on bikes, kids walking the dog, parents walking the dog, people out and active. They see it creep above 52 degrees or whatnot, and they're out and playing. I love that. And then baseball and softball season at the high school level. We'll be talking about it here on the podcast, and then coaching out there on the diamonds. Looking forward to what's to come.
Oh, yeah. I was out walking the dog in shorts just yesterday.
There you go.
All right. I'm about it. I'm looking forward to the NFL draft. All right. I love the draft. I love seeing the profiles on kids, where they think they're going to go. We got Darius Alexander and Harold Fannin Jr., both Toledo and Bowling Green products, potentially first-round NFL draft picks. That's not all we're going to talk about with Toledo and BG today. We got plenty with the Rockets and the Falcons on today's podcast. Of course, we've got our clip of the week, game of the week. We're heading to Dayton. We're heading all over the place because there's still some hoops teams in action going. Make sure you're here every single Wednesday for a brand new episode of the BCSN Nation podcast. Get us anywhere you got your podcast on BCSN or bcsnnation.com/podcast. And while you're there on those there websites, make sure you follow at BCSN Sports anywhere you go. But now we got to get into it. A splash hire. I told you we weren't done talking about the Falcons. A splash hire coming in over the weekend. Eddie George, the new head coach of the Bowling Green Falcons. You see it on the screen. And if you don't listen up, Eddie Ziggy Zumba is in town, rolled in on a PJ on Sunday night. Big hire, gentlemen.
Oh, 100%. I liked the messages that he provided at the media press conference, which this day and age, not necessarily just the media is there. You got big-time donors. You got all the coaching staff members. You got coaches of the other programs at BG there to be a part of the team, welcoming the new head coach. But he said there's 3 ships: relationships, ownership, and leadership. I like that message. Yeah. You got to win the press conference, and you got to know your audience. So he said, hey, we got to beat that team up north, in reference to UT. So that won the crowd over for a portion of the press conference. He said that we want to win the MAC. Another checkbox checked off. And then he brought up the growth mindset, and Derek Vanderway, the athletic director, brought that growth mindset up again. And then he had a point of emphasis of creating a profile for the coach that they wanted to hire. And one of them was a line on the profile was, hire someone who believes in what BGSU has now, not what they don't have. And I think in the Mid-American Conference level, as you compare it to the Power 4 schools and conferences, you can find a myriad of differences in what you have and don't have. But your job is to coach BGSU, not to just wish, oh, we had this, oh, wish we had. Well, yes, okay, it's an observation, but work with what you got. You can incrementally build and add some of those that other schools have, but believe in what we got here. And Eddie George definitely won the press conference, Dion.
So for me, I follow HBCU football.
Sure.
And, you know, I remember when he first got hired, like in 2020. And a lot of people were, well, he doesn't have any coaching experience. But Deion got hired the year prior to that, so there was kind of a trend in HBCU football. Yeah. So, and then when he won the OVC, not won, but when he actually got to the playoffs, I was like, great. But also, I did a live. You remember they were talking about firing Ryan Day after they lost to Michigan?
Sure.
And guys were like, who should the next coach be at Ohio State? I said, I'm going to throw a name out here that you guys probably don't even know coaches. And it was Eddie George. Because I followed him and I saw the turnaround he did with that program at Tennessee State. Now he has a few more resources. He's going to be a guy that's going to walk in any living room. All the parents are going to know him. So he's going to be formidable in recruiting. I think this is a splash hire, as you said. I think he's going to do really great here. You know?
A college football Hall of Famer himself, the Big South Ohio Valley Conference Coach of the Year, a 5-year deal now for Coach Eddie George. And like you talked about, there's just – we're in the era of name, image, likeness. There is no greater or few greater in college football name, images, and likenesses greater than when Eddie George walks into your living room. And great for him to be around this community that loves football so much.
And if you watch him when he was at Tennessee State, his players loved him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Granted, he's a disciplined guy, but he's also kind of a calm guy, kind of a guy that, you would feel very comfortable talking to. So I think this is going to be a great move for Bowling Green.
Yeah, back to the NIL deal. He said that's a portion. He used the word, it's a fingernail on the body of college football. It's not the leading aspect of what we want to do here at BGSU. And I felt that was refreshing because at BG, he talked about a war chest, like building up the war chest to help attract some top-tier talent to take BGSU to the next level. This is a Scott Loeffler-led team before he departed to go to the Eagles to be their quarterbacks coach. He was one win away from beating Ohio and then playing in the MAC championship game. So it's not as if it's what Scott Loeffler took over 6 years ago when Mike Jinks departed.
Cabinets are not empty.
And
I really hope he comes to Northwest Ohio and recruits a lot of the kids around here.
He talked about wanting to put a gate around Ohio, wall around Ohio, keep those kids here.
And they say that, but I'm telling you, Northwest Ohio, there's some hidden gems. We got kids.
Absolutely.
They're going to
They
Kent
found
State,
their ways
kids.
to Toledo and Bowling Green.
Exactly. So, man, it'll be really nice to see him around here at some
games. 100%. Every year that we do the Battle of I-75 pregame show, we show a full screen graphic of all of the local players for UT, all of the local players for BGSU. In this most recent recruiting cycle, there weren't as many, but still, there's still a proliferation of not only guys who are just from our area, but guys who are from our area and are on the two deep, or are starters or are backups or playing significant roles on special teams. But definitely, I think a great hire. He'll be back here. He's got to get his ducks in a row in regards. He told me that at 1 o'clock on Monday after the press conference, he had to meet with all of the coaches because they're in flux. And he acknowledged the fact that those families, they didn't wish this. Their coach departed. They got to figure out where they're going to go. Are they able to stay? Essentially, they got to re-interview with the new head coach and see if they're going to be staying or if they're going to be going. But then spring ball is the next thing that people would be paying attention to with Eddie George and the Falcons.
Spring ball coming up pretty quick. Plus, as a Survivor guy, huge fan of his wife, Taj. She was great on Survivor Season 18, in case you guys didn't know. Eddie George's wife on Survivor Season 18. He made a little appearance for that. We're staying, though, with the Battle of I-75 type theme because it's Mac Turney week on the hoops side. Both men and women's teams for both schools made the tournament. Both of them could end up facing each other in the conference semifinals if they both win their first games. Toledo and Bowling Green on the women's side play today on Wednesday, and then the guys will play on Thursday as that side of the tournament gets rolling. And kind of up and down seasons for both sides of these teams, the guys and the girls, as gone on winning streaks, gone on colder streaks, especially notably on the guys' side for both teams.
Yeah, let's go with the guys on Thursday. In the sense that 1980 and 1968, still mind-boggling that that's the last time that UT has been to the NCAA tournament and BG has been to the NCAA tournament. Everybody knows about UT and how they've won 4 straight regular season titles up until this year. And each year they had the target on their back as the 1 seed. You're playing those 11 a.m. games, and we've seen Coach Todd Kowalczyk get to the championship game, come up short against Buffalo when Nate Oates was there. So maybe they just need to go and not be the 1 seed and take a little bit of the pressure off. They played well in the second half against Ohio on Friday night in the regular season finale. They got to have the commitment of guys like Javen Simmons and Sonny Wilson and Sam Lewis. It's a rematch. They're playing Ohio University again on
third
Thursday.
time this season.
So that's always an interesting element in the fact that it's going to be 6 days between playing each other. This time, obviously, on a neutral site. But for them, there's no excuses now as far as, hey, let's just go out there and let it rip and then see where the chips fall.
Sure.
It's going to be a challenge in a 4 or 5 seed game. And then on the other side with Coach Todd Simon, they squeaked in as the 8 seed. Pretty remarkable. They were winning
4 of their last 5 games.
Yeah, they played well, but even specifically on that Friday night, it was win and they're in on their home court. They end up losing by 1 point, and then they need 2 other outcomes in the MAC to go their way. They got both of them to go their way, and one of them was a borderline miracle. The 12th place team, Northern Illinois, hitting a crazy shot in double overtime to win, and then they get in. But guys, Marcus Johnson, Javonte Campbell, Derek Butler. The one caveat about this game against Akron, so the last 10 games of the regular season, BG's number 1 in defense in the MAC. In the last 10 games, Akron is number 1 in offense. So what's going to give? We'll find out.
They score points aplenty. Dion, speaking of new coaches, we talked about Eddie George. Jenny Bogus stepped in and has carried the torch that 𝗬𝗪ce 𝗀𝗏 set as a standard for this Toledo women's program.
Yeah, finishing number 2 in the MAC. That's pretty amazing your first year. Here's the concern, though. They turned the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
You know, even though, what were they, like, they had 22 wins?
22 and 7.
So they turned the ball over so much. If they can minimize the turnovers, I expect them to do well. Now, to the men's side, you know, I'm going to agree with what you're saying. I don't think that number 1 seed means anything in the MAC tournament because I don't remember the last time a number 1.
I stand by that, but Akron is scary.
They are, but the thing with Akron, they're small. You know,
but
they play a lot of guard. They can score, absolutely. You know, Bowling Green. There's a lot of parity in the MAC. That's the thing about this tournament.
One of the best parts about it.
Yeah, I don't think there's one runaway, you know, team. Toledo, speaking of scoring, they can score too. Their problem is they give up a ton of points.
Yes.
So we got to see if Toledo can lock it down a little bit defensively, continue to score. But they beat OU twice this year.
Yes.
And the question is always, can you beat a team 3 times? And the answer is yes. You know, if you're better than them. But I think this is going to be probably one of the more interesting MAC tournaments. I'm going to be tuned into it. I usually don't watch it. I'm going to be totally transparent here. But I like this year on both the guys and the women's side.
All MAC teams for the women released yesterday. Toledo's Nan Garcia, 6th Player of the Year. Sammy McConowitz, the mayor of Rossford, 2nd team All MAC. Kendall Carruthers, another local product, honorable mention All MAC. And then Faith Fed Robinson, freshman team All MAC. And on the BG side, Amy Velasco picking up 1st team All MAC, averaging 16 points a game. Lexi Fleming, 3rd team All MAC. Paige Kohler, honorable mention. The list keeps going. And then Janae Danu, freshman All-MAC, and then defensive team All-MAC. Plenty of talent on the women's side, like we talked about. Wednesday, the women's MAC will get rolling. BG women take on Buffalo, and then Thursday, the guys will get rolling. Again, both of those teams. A chance to meet up in the MAC semifinals if 2 I-75s weren't enough for you throughout the season, potentially 2 more going. I'm going to catch my breath. We got 30 seconds from Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll be right back.
Buffalo Wild Wings, buy one, get one free. Boneless Thursdays saved me so much cash. I can finally do everything I've ever wanted in life, like skydiving. You ready? No, this was a mistake, a huge mistake. I want to go back. I want to go back. Go, go, go! Ah! Yeah, I'll probably just use the money I saved to get more buy one, get one free boneless wings at B-Dubs. No brainer. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations, not valid with other offers or discounts. See website or app for details.
All right, from the MAC tourney that just got started to a great state tournament run that came to an end on Sunday, the Notre Dame girls fall to Purcell Marion, the 3-time defending state champions, playing for their 4th now, but an incredible season that takes nothing away from what Coach Travis Galloway and these Eagles did, Dion.
They ran into a buzzsaw, and this was going to be an uphill climb.
Sure.
You know, as a matter of fact, one of their
whole season.
Yeah, one of their assistant coaches for Notre Dame, his son trains at the gym, and we were talking about it actually day before yesterday. I said, you know, what do you think? He said, listen, man. He said, this team, we knew we had our work cut out for us. We were hoping to get some things going defensively. He said, they're just that good. So nothing to be ashamed of. I think if you're Notre Dame, I mean, you had a great year.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Coach Travis Galloway said it. He said, this is one of the most enjoyable groups that I've ever coached or ever been around because of games like that Purcell Marion game. He said, we're outsized, we're outmatched, but the fight never stopped on this Notre Dame team. No matter who they took on throughout the season, a 21-7 record, nothing to hang your head on about, Justin.
Yeah, 100%. I think outmatched over the course of 4 quarters. They were getting blitzed in that first quarter. I think it was 18-2. They rallied back, but the better team won over the course of the full 32 minutes. So you can say you hung, but you got to hang with the final buzzer when it's all zeros, and they were just outmatched. And it's kind of like let's say you're a golfer on the PGA Tour during the time of Tiger Woods. You are a really good golfer, but Tiger Woods is just a little bit better. So he's going to win all the big events, and that's kind of what D. Alexander, the star player, two-time Miss Basketball, who's going to the University of Cincinnati. She and her teammates, they have a program there. You don't win 3 state championships by accident, regardless of where you are, Division 1, 2, 3, 4, or on down the list. But to the credit of Notre Dame, they won 21 games. Okay, when you get, for those that might not know and just kind of casually follow high school, you win 20 games in high school basketball, it's a legit season. That's elite. Kind of no matter who you're playing. Yeah. But the point of emphasis that I would put on this season is the Notre Dame seniors, Bella Calcamuggio, Kaylee Lothery, Nina Sims, Jade Battle, Jadlyn Nicholson, Bobby Hunt, put Notre Dame back on the map at the state level, not just in Northwest Ohio. Put them back on the map, and they were building and building and building. They took their lumps in the Catholic League the last few years. They struggled against some teams in Northwest Ohio, but then got better. And that's what I appreciate as a coach. If I'm a coach or someone who's a fan of their team, you're not just going to snap your fingers and go from mediocre to great. You got to take those steady builds, and that's what they did.
An impressive season for Coach Galloway and the Eagles, falling in the state semifinal. But we talked about running into a buzzsaw. We got a buzzsaw to talk about here in our clip of the week by Renewal by Anderson Cisco. Hit it. Purcell may be a 3-time defending state champion. Somebody on this screen right now is now a 4-time state champion. Marcus Blaze from Perrysburg becomes only the 34th wrestler in Ohio history to claim his 4th state championships. Did it in dominant fashion. A 17-2 tech fall over Bradley Eaton from St. Ed's, who was the projected state champion before Marcus decided to bump up from 138 to 150 and ran his way through every bit of the state tournament, whether it's sectionals, districts, the state tournament. My favorite part about this is like casual. Gets up, barely out of breath, no celebrating, no jumping around, no huge thing. The biggest celebration and smile on his face comes right here when you see Coach Scott Burnett scream, "Greatest of all time." And I don't know how to argue that. He is probably the greatest of all time, at least in Northwest Ohio, right? Him and Savannah Isaac, the only two that can tout 4-time state championships. 202. That state championship record, or state championship match, gives him his 200th career win. I said it to, I think, Justin. I've said it to Mark Coons. I think he's the best athlete in any sport we've seen on BCSN in the 20 years.
He's definitely elite. I mean, there's no bones about that. I mean, you do the simple math, 200 wins divided by 4 years in high school. That's 50 wins.
One of those 2 losses, he didn't even give up a point in. 50. He got a stalling call in Ironman finals.
50 wins. Just remarkable. The banner right there says it all. He's going to Penn State. He's the #1 recruit in the entire country, regardless of weight class. He's a matter-of-fact type of guy. He still says he has plenty of time outside of wrestling with family and friends, but he is a dedicated individual. You don't reach the heights that he does without being so. But he is someone who puts in the work and then reaps the benefits of doing so. And I just feel bad because he's 138 pounds. I was told his wrestling weight's like 140 or something. He doesn't have to cut a bunch of weight each and every week. But if you're a 150-pound class wrestler and you're like, are you for real, Marcus? You're going to bump up to my weight class? And now I got to face the near Olympian?
Whoever won the state title at 138 needs to give Marcus a handwritten note of thank you.
Yes.
Listen, we all appreciate the grappling arts. So you guys wrestle. Obviously, I do a different form of grappling. But we saw this a few years ago. Remember we did the awards, and I think he was like a freshman. We knew there was something different about this kid. You know what I mean? And now he's going to Penn State to, I mean, like I said, when I respect grappling. I didn't respect it much in high school because I was a basketball player. But this is incredible.
He's a different level of athlete.
He's different. He's in the Jordan Burroughs and all those type of guys.
He is on his way.
He will be a future Olympian. I'm calling it now.
I agree.
And man, this is just amazing. And like you say, look at this coach. I love that. And he's a guy like that is a program changer. You know how many little kids are probably going to be in the Biddy program.
I want to be 𝗦𝗫𝗶𝗵𝘁𝗶𝘆.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that is Perrysburg is here to stay for a little while. Now,
They aren't going anywhere. Trust me. As somebody who coached at the junior high level in the area, they aren't going anywhere. Their junior high is a formidable. It's a problem, that whole program. So congratulations to 𝗦𝗫𝗶𝗵𝘁𝗆. Perrysburg finished 3rd in the state. And it's time. Student section of the season. I know who the winner is. Let's make an announcement. Cisco. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not telling you guys till Friday who won.
Ooh,
Nobody gets to know early.
I'm like, wait a second, I don't see it.
I do know that Friday, I'll be there. Student section season is going to be given out this Friday. Hold on, let me just slide under the desk.
He's got the chain. He's got the chain.
Somebody gets this on Friday.
Yes.
You don't know who it is. Justin knows who it is. I know who it is. You'll find out on Friday. Dion doesn't even get to know. There's a need-to-know basis here. Dion doesn't know yet.
Man.
It's time for state semifinals, though. We got to get into this. All right, St. Francis playing in the state semifinals for Division II this Sunday, taking on Westerville North, gentlemen. A great uphill battle that Coach 𝗦𝗫𝗀𝗏 Kaczmarek and this St. Francis team has gone on in the playoffs.
They figured out, I'm telling you, they started going big, and they started saying, hey, I'm bigger than you, and I'm going to show you. They did it defensively. They started bringing Polanitz, little Chris Polanitz, off the bench.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing now, guys, is what you call buy-in. The whole team is bought in to Coach Kaczmarek.
They are not ready for the season to end.
They're not. And trust me when I tell you, don't look at that seeding. I think they have a great opportunity. And I said this a couple Fridays ago. I said, when I look at the lineup, St. Francis, they have the pieces to do a whole lot of damage, and it's kind of been prophetic.
Yeah, you've got the power inside that the Horton brothers have both brought. We talked about last week, Polk coming in, giving you some dirty minutes. And then you've got the guard play outside, Raheem Brown. Chris Poland's coming off the bench is huge, right? Spent the entire season basically as a starter, and now you have a guy that can slide off the bench and continue to contribute points.
Because think about it. You're a freshman. You start, then you come off the bench. I'm not going to lie. There's a little probably there like
a little voice in your head.
Yes, like, am I good enough? What's going on? He just said, you know what? When I come in, I get my opportunity. I'm going to shine. That's what he's done.
The team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Justin?
1983, the last time that St. Francis won a state title, so they got 2 more wins to accomplish that same feat that the Knights did back in the early 80s. It's been a history-making season regardless, so you got that going for you. Guys like Alan Horton, Logan Horton, you talk about coming and playing a bigger role here in the postseason inside. You got Jimmy Heck, Raheem Brown, Jermaine Polk as well. And Jimmy Heck, a guy who has been through the rigors as a freshman, played varsity in Coach 𝗦𝗫𝗀𝗏 Kaczmarek's first season and took his lumps. He was probably taking advantage of the fact that there wasn't high-caliber players on that varsity level as juniors and seniors when he was a freshman. Yeah. So he was beneficial to the fact that, hey, I'm getting varsity minutes here as a freshman. But he's gotten steadily better and better and better. I think he's kind of like the inspiration, the little ignition that starts the engine across the board. He's one who does all the little things right. But that game against Winton Woods was legit. 15 lead changes, back and forth it went.
Battle.
And I think that this game against Westerville North, it's what, as a fan, say you don't care about St. Francis, as a fan, you want it to be legit and compelling, and it should be a challenge. Yeah. This should be a game from the tip to the buzzer.
Yeah, absolutely. St. Francis, an incredible job slowing down a dynamic Winton Woods team that stopped Lima Senior. They'll have to do it again this Sunday. Westerville North scoring 83.5 points per game in the playoffs. They dropped 111 the first round against Whetstone. St. Francis, though, only giving up 42.2 in the playoffs. You talked about that defense has been ramping up.
Big zone.
We'll see how it plays out this Sunday at Wright State. So best of luck to Coach Kaczmarek and the Knights when they take on Westerville North. But it's Game of the Week time, brought to you by Dunn Chevy in Oregon. Well, as I was saying before, I was jump scared by Cisco. Game of the week, the one we wanted all season long. Anthony Wayne and Winton Woods in the Division II Girls State Final, 7:30 p.m. on Friday on BCSN and the NLL Network. We have been begging for this matchup all season long, gentlemen.
They've earned it. Anthony Wayne has earned it. Coach Jamie Carter said that And this is a long time coming in the sense that, yes, the freshman season of the current senior class at Anthony Wayne reached the state tournament, but they were knocked out in their sophomore and junior seasons. And now that they're back at it, I am glad that the way that it worked with the final 4 participants, that the bracket played out in this manner where we could get Winton Woods and we could get Anthony Wayne, because I think it's the bona fide top 2 teams in the state in Division II. This game will be Friday night at UD Arena, 7:30. I think it's going to be a jam-packed place as far as White House is concerned, taking that trip down I-75. This game will be live on BCSN and the NLL network, not streamed on the BCSN Plus app, just live on the linear network.
Yes.
We'll have coverage of it at 10:30 on Overtime and at 11 o'clock on 13 ABC as well. But the players, it's the brightest moment, Dion, in the sense that you are here. It's time to show up and show out. So players like Elise Bender and Brooke Bender, hey, you're the Villanova recruits. It's time to play like they have been. It's not as if they've been missing the mark here during the postseason. They have been delivering, and now you got to deliver one final time, and you're going to have your role players like Leah Pike. We saw her when the Bender sisters didn't have a great game back in the regionals. Leah Pike stepped up and was just fearless. I loved hand in her face, 3, got it, buckets. And then you got Corin Volts, you got Kennedy Hill, Sophie Smith, Brenneman twins. All of them. It's going to be a full effort, whether you're on the bench rooting your team on and patting them on the back when they make a mistake and keeping that energy level up and the inspiration and motivational level up. They're going to be prepared, and that's the one advantage I think that coaching staffs have. I was thinking about this coming in today. With the week off between, or nearly a week off, between the semifinals and the championship as compared to years past where it was you played in back-to-back days
Friday,
or you played
Saturday,
a Thursday and a Saturday type of deal. You got plenty of game prep. You can watch plenty of film. So I think if you're a better coach, you might have a little bit better of a factor in finding a way to win because you have that extra time to digest and prepare.
Well, you guys heard me say this before. You know, the bright lights and all that's for us to talk about. But as a coach, you have to figure out how to get your players to lock in and not
it's just
get
basketball
so focused.
game.
But it's not.
It is, but it is.
But it is. You know what I mean? And the thing is, by the way, shouts out to Northwest Ohio basketball, boys and girls. I don't think we get the respect
postseason.
Like around the state. You know, we got teams that are playing in the state tournament. You know, obviously we cover because we're up here and we know how good we can be. But this game right here, it comes down to at some point a battle of wills. How bad do you want it? This is it. It ends.
Yeah.
How bad do you want it? How do you want your season to end? You know, so the hard part though is going to be, guys, do not press. You know, a game like this, you're going to be pressing early. You're going to be like, okay, everything speeds up for a little bit. Second half, second quarter, expect things to kind of slow down.
Yeah.
But this is going to be, man, what more can you ask for?
Yeah, it's one of those where both teams have to realize if you're down 7, you're down 8. You cannot get that in one possession, right? Get your 2, come back, play defense. Get your 3, whatever it is. Get back, play this game. And both of these teams, great at getting stops, only giving up about 30 points per game. Both of these teams are. So unstoppable force meets immovable object. Winton Woods, Anthony Wayne State Final Friday on BCSN and the NLL Network. Make sure you are checking it out. It's our game of the week for a reason. 30 seconds for Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll be right back with more that's coming up on BCSN this week. Hit it, Cisco.
I've saved so much money enjoying Buffalo Wild Wings BOGO half-off traditional wing Tuesdays. I can finally afford everything I've ever wanted in life. Wings. All I ever wanted was more wings. So yeah, buy one, get one half-off traditional wings is the perfect deal for me and my lifetime yearnings. I value it more than literally anything. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations, not valid with other offers or discounts. See website or app for details.
Winter season winding down, but we've still got stuff going. We've got spring sports rolling, and the Midas games list up on your screen this Friday. High school boys volleyball, Perrysburg and Northview, a very special Cats for the Cure game. Make sure you're there to check that one out. And then, of course, we've got Archbishop Alter and Bellevue and BCSN Erie action in the girls' state Final Four or state championship in D4. And as we mentioned, Winton Woods and Anthony Wayne. And then on Saturday, we've got college across Dubuque and Adrian. A short games list, but full of very important games for different reasons.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Spring sports, we'll dabble there with boys
We'll dabble,
volleyball,
yeah.
and we'll have softball and baseball coming up, some track and field as we get deeper into the spring sports season. But we'll wrap up winter sports next week, but then it's full throttle ahead. Looking forward to some diamond action and in the circle, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, so no matter what you're looking forward to in spring, make sure you're looking forward to next Wednesday for a brand new episode of the podcast right here at Justin Feldkip, at Thompson Jiu-Jitsu, over on Instagram, at BCSN Sports, wherever you need anything from Wednesday to Wednesday. Until then, we'll see ya.